Episode 3's in copyright dispute hell. I better use less clips for this one. I don't get why they're so flag happy about their crappy fanfic. Oh, I'm sorry, fanfic implies Kondo and Hess actually like the source material. If they actually like the Ice and Fire universe, they wouldn't be trying to improve it, and they wouldn't have pissed off the creator himself. In Tumbleton, the Greens do a PG-13 version of Raising the Town. One of the Green soldiers forces himself on a random townswoman we won't remember. Ormond Hightower has him gelded and his arm broken. A Green character that's not mustache-twirlingly evil? I wonder how they'll ruin him
in the end.
Grab a drink for this one. It turns out Darren's actually ginger. I've seen some coat posting on forums that maybe Darren is silver-haired, but they gave him a wig in universe to make him less noticeable, as a silver-haired boy traveling with the Greens host will no doubt make people talk. No, that's too much effort for the showrunners. Darren is ginger cause fuck the Greens, that's why. The big reason why Rhaenyra got so much flack from the Hightower supporters for the Strong Boys is cause all the Targ Tower kids from Alicent look like typical Targaryens. Giving Alicent a ginger son defeats the purpose of that. Maybe that was the point. Maybe they wanted Alicent to look like a hypocrite cause the Greens can't have a single win. In King's Landing, Rhaenyra tries to hold another meeting and waits. Why is Orwyle there? He helped the Greens. Rhaenyra would be a dumbass to trust him. Throw him in the dungeons. Put the black guy in the black cells.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Since Tumbleton's a black town, she can't just rain fire and blood on them. She orders the Riverlords to assemble an army to march there. Mysaria advises her to put a Master of Coin there on the council so the peasants will have someone to blame when they inevitably run out of gold. Okay, I'm pretty sure a bunch of guys who can't even read have no idea how the small council works. Rhaenyra picks Torrin Manderly, the guy who got snippy with her last episode.
It is a bold move, and the small folk will cheer it. It may even make them forget that it was your blockade that made bread scarce in the first place.
Rhaenyra then asks Alicent everything she knows about Ormond.
He sees himself as a scholar. He studies the histories, he collects tapestries, writes ballads, despises the ignorant and uncouth.
From what she says, Ormond seems like a typical High Lord, and since it's established last season that Darren turned out decent under him, he can't be all bad, assuming the writers didn't kind of forget that. Oh, apparently he's sensitive to smells, so is he gonna be beaten by farts? What is this foreshadowing? Rhaenyra then asks Orwyle about how close the Hightowers are to the faith. Well, the Starry Sept, which is their version of the Vatican, is in Old Town, as is the Maester Citadel, so what do you think? Rhaenyra wonders if she could get rid of the current High Septon, but Orwyle says no. Has she ever thought of blowing them up Cersei style? Apparently everyone will just kind of forget. On the road, Aegon and Larys finally see Sunfyre's not-so-dead body. I haven't mentioned this, but everyone's talking about how Sunfyre is definitely for sure dead. I hope it's the writer's obvious way of trying to bait the audience into thinking he's dead for real, cause it's already established how Rhaenyra dies.
Rhaenyra Targaryen was murdered by her brother, or rather, his dragon. It ate her while her son watched.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Sarah Hess killed off Sunfyre as another middle finger for the Greens. Aegon tries to get him to fly. Oh, now he speaks Valyrian. Either he's kept up to date on his Duolingo lessons on the run, or the writers kind of forgot again. They can't stay for long, as random peasants have turned Sunfyre's comatose body, I'll just put it that way, into a roadside attraction where you pay to look at and touch him. They're forced to move on to Rook's Rest, and I gotta say, that was the highlight of the episode. It's like watching someone reunite with a beloved pet. Well, more than a pet, a bonded pet.
That also happens to be a living nuke.
But since Sarah has a hate boner, or should I say a hate lady boner for the Greens, Aegon gets more humiliation by the time they get to Rook's Rest. What's left is the medieval version of a tent city. It's led by a homeless guy who makes Aegon the Cripple clean up their shit, which is really inefficient if you think about it. Wouldn't you want someone fit to do the sanitation so it takes as short of a time as possible? But who cares for logistics 6 when you have a chance to put Aegon through yet another humiliation ritual. It gets even worse when he makes Aegon kiss his shit-stained shoes. By R'hllor, you might as well just have Aegon blow the hobo at this point. At Harrenhal, Criston Cole and Gwaine meet Alice Rivers and no Aemond. You know, if I didn't know anything about the Ice and Fire universe, I would have mistook her for a Morgana cosplayer from BBC's Merlin. It kind of fits. She's a sorceress who's better dressed than the Queen. Seriously, why do the queens on this show dress like peasants? House Targaryen is supposed to be at the height of their power, but even Dany dressed better in exile than her richer ancestors. Last episode we had a random horde that dressed in silk with fancier jewelry than anything we've seen on the queens. Now a random sorceress wears purple when the current queen herself's dressed like Anakin. I know this sounds nitpicky, but it's immersion breaking. When you're creating a fictional universe, it's little details like that. They make the world believable, like it could be a real place. Now I'm not saying every little detail has to be perfect. Not all of us can be Tolkien, but when every tiny detail doesn't make sense logistically, it screams laziness. I haven't mentioned this before, but after season 1, the costumes on this show are crap. Why are side characters dressed better than the leads? At the Vale, Daemon gets the gold he wanted. I was gonna say, if that didn't work, they can take some of Lady Jane's dresses to sell. Caraxes takes a detour to a cave where Rhaenyra's started living as a crackhead. They are doubling down on turning her into nettles. Rhaenyra says she fed him sheep to gain his trust, which is bullshit. He fed her. And then she goes on a rant about how much her life sucked being a pampered princess.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Oh, but woe is her, she didn't have a dragon. You know, like half of Jaehaerys' children. Sarah, Visera, Aegon, Miguel. Aegon the Uncrowned had a dragon, but it didn't do him any good. And Arya's life turned for the worse when she claimed Balerion, and he flew them both to Valyria. What the fuck kind of crack do they have in the Vale?
You were meant to accompany my sons to Pentos.
They are well attended.
Oh, so they were supposed to go to Pentos. Then why the hell wasn't there a single shot during the first episode? Daemon tries to get her to go back, but she flies off. Daemon drinks the head of some random guy he tortured to death while the small council's having a meeting. Rhaenyra wishes he was brought back alive, probably so she could hack off his head like she did Otto. At Myseria's suggestion, the gold Daemon brought back would go to the peasants, but fast forward, we get a scene where the city watch are beating up the peasants she supposedly loved so much, and it was after it was discovered that someone had tagged a wall with graffiti reading Rhaenyra, Queen of the Bastards. It was so confusing upon my first viewing. I thought Rhaenyra changed her mind and buffed up city security to beat up every peasant that believed the obvious, like Cersei using the mountain to beat up everyone who laughed at her during the Walk of Shame. They try to end the episode on a twist when Ormond makes Darren kill Hugh's wife's brother. Remember them? I don't either. Forgot Hugh even had a wife. Just in case you forgot, the Greens are the supposed bad guys. He goes on an anti-Valyrian rant about Targs having tainted blood, but Darren's not like the other Targaryens. I don't know what the point of this is. We get it, the Greens are evil. He might as well have been tossing puppies and kittens into a wood chipper. Oh, and Helena is pregnant? I think. They spent like 2 seconds on a scene where she doesn't really say anything. I had to read through a bunch of forum threads to confirm. I guess George R. R. Martin's pissed off blog post rattled them enough to give us Maelor after all. Whether or not it makes sense in the timeline, I don't know. Aegon's supposed to be a eunuch after Rook's Rest. Maybe they want to give us a true twist and say it's Aemond's. We'll have to wait and see. The only thing I truly liked was Aegon's reunion with Sunfyre. I really felt for the guy when he kept nudging at Sunfyre, telling him to wake up. It lasts for like 1 second before Aegon's humiliation ritual continues. I'll be nice and say it was a mixed bag of an episode.
But let me tell you what kind of mixed bag. It's a trash bag that's had a bad day. Like say your mom cleans out the cat litter, fresh and stale duty pebbles go right in the bottom of the bag, and then your sister throws out her used tampons, and where do they go? In the same bag. And then your brother comes home piss-ass drunk, just upchucks, pukes right into the bag. Now, I'm not trying to be disgusting, but that is a realistic situation, and what it all comes down to, that's a nasty bag.
Fuck you, you're a fucking wanker. We're gonna punch you right in the balls. Fuck you with a fucking anchor. You're all cunts, so fuck you all.